Okay, on this car, what I did is I changed the oil, I changed the oil pan gasket, and I fixed the oil pan. What had happened is I thought I was just going to change the oil pan gasket only, but on this car, the oil pan had a slight little small crack in it, about that big, about an inch, a little tiny crack, like a hairline crack almost, but a little bigger than a hairline. And what I did is I patched it up with JB WELD. So this is how you fix that. I know I could have got a new pan. I just wanted to test it out. I've never patched up an oil pan with JB WELD, but I've used JB WELD on other stuff. And I'm going to show you how to do it on this car. All right? Some of you might like it, some of you might not like it. But this is what I do. This is how I handle things on my side, man. But this is how you fix a cracked oil pan with JB WELD. Let's do it. See there? See the light? That's definitely the problem. And on this car we had a major oil leak. And that's the problem right there. Now, am I gonna get a new pan? Nope. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix it. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sand all this, sand this side, put some JB WELD in there, and that's good to go right there. Okay, next, for those of you who wanna change the oil pan gasket, this is the next step for you. What you wanna do is you wanna spray the exhaust bolts with WD-40, okay? Come over here, spray this one. I already sprayed them, but I'm going to show you again. Spray that. One in the back. Let's get them all sprayed up with WD-40. Just let that sit for a while, because you're going to have to pull this portion off from here to here in order to pull this oil pan down. Okay, now we're going to take out this bracket here. This mounts to the transmission and to the bottom of the engine block. You got a 14mm bolt here, 14 here, 12mm here, and 12mm there. This one's broke here. I'll explain that later, all right? So let's take that off right now. On this transmission bracket, get a wrench, push it that way, like that. See how this in play? And tap it. Break it loose. Don't fight it, man. You don't gotta fight it and hurt yourself. Same thing with this one too. Put the wrench in there like that. Tap it. Break it loose. Then go to this 12mm bolt. Bust that loose. Spin it off like that. And do the same thing for the other side. Now that you got these all loose, take off these bolts, these 14mm. Take this 12 out, right there, this out. Pull this down like that. Okay, check this out. See this? This is broke. This is supposed to look like this. Somehow, some way, this thing, something got caught up in here and hit the CV joint, because they got a new joint, CV joint. Hit the axle, was spinning it around and hit the oil pan, and it came between this and the oil pan and just snapped it loose. So anyways, that's why this is missing. But on yours, you're gonna have an extra piece. Yours is gonna be full, and you're gonna have this hole here with the 12mm. Okay, don't forget that. So you take off this here, and yes, you have to take this off, because if you don't, you can't get access to these 10mm bolts in here. All right? I mean nuts. So you have to take these off, because you need to get access to these 10mm nuts in there. All right? Which are on the oil pan. Okay, this is that broken piece that I was talking about. It's just a little tiny piece. It's still mounted on here, but it's actually broke. I'll put it together on the other piece. See? That's all that is. It just broke right off. I don't know how, some way, somehow. It snapped right off. there's 4 nuts here. This one here. This one here. Then there's 2 on this side. You have to use the swivel, alright? It'll make it a lot easier. So when you take these off, use the swivel with your extension, your 1/4 inch. So you're better off using the 1/4 inch universal on this part here in order to get this off. Because you're gonna have a hard time if you try to use the 3/8 extension and socket. Just stick with the 1/4 inch. Okay, just start taking them all loose. See this indentation in there? It caused this right here. So something was banging around as this CV boot was moving. Something was getting banged up. Okay, next we're gonna take this exhaust off. All right. So what you want to do? You want to hit it like this. Hopefully it doesn't break on us. Get that loose like that. So I put pressure that way. I'm going to take it off like this, okay? Just try to get it loose. I think we got it right there. It's good to go right there. These are very tricky, man. You got to be very careful with these exhaust bolts. Next, we want to get these off right here. All right. That one there. There. Okay, make sure you spray all these bolts, alright? Nuts and bolts on the exhaust, always. Okay, here we go. Let's work these ones now. Same thing here. Spray that with WD-40. Let it sit for a little bit. Then position this wrench. We can get a couple whacks at it. Alright. Set it up right there. We're in a tight spot here, but that's all right. Handle it. Push it that way. Okay, now we're gonna work this side. All right, it's gonna be a little hard. Very hard. Not a little. Very hard. Break that loose. Let's go. That one. On this side. This one right here. Remember that. Ready? It's gonna be kind of hard. That bad boy is real hard. Whew. You're gonna have to put some serious force in these. These ain't no joke. That's how exhaust bolts are though. They bind up after the years, they get all rusted and pretty much welded together. But you can get it. Just be strong about it. I'm gonna temporarily put this back. Alright? Just for now. Just like that. Okay, now we got this off. Got this here loose. Now we just take this loose. Take these off. This one off. Done deal right there. Take the whole deal off now. Okay. Now I got this here. Remember I put that there? Temporarily. Ready? Now I'm going to take it off. Take that off. And pull it down. Just like that. Done deal right there. So set this aside. We're going to work the pan now. Okay, now this is the last part we got to take off. This is a dust cover for the flywheel. We got 1, 2, 3. There was one actually here, but that was to the other, for the bracket, transmission bracket to the engine block. But that one's we already took that one off. So, bust them out loose. Let's take these off. So we got 3 left. Okay, this is it. That's the dust cover. That's the last bolt. Slide that down like that. There it is right there. Now we can take the oil pan off. So, there's the flywheel in there, torque converter, all inside there. Okay, let me show you what I did. I got one nut holding up this oil pan here. It's right here. Alright, I'm going to take that off. Usually I put 2, 1 on each side of each other, right across. But I just put 1 right now. No big deal. You can put 2 if you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, now we pull the pan down. That's it. You gotta kind of work it off of the other bolt, but you might have to get a pry bar sometime. Try it out. In our case, this is in my way. I should have took this off, but so be it. Let's handle it. Okay, there we go right there. Okay. Let's take the pan out. Okay. Check this out right here. You see that? See that right there? That was the problem right there. Now look at this side. Something happened in there to where a piece of rock or something flew up in the engine during motion and caused the part or piece or whatever to jam up between the CV axle and just ram it right into the side of the oil pan. So we had a major leak. Now what you want to do is get all the little parts, the nuts and the bolts from the oil pan and the exhaust, whatever you want to put in there. Just put it in a container and put some engine degreaser in there. Just get them all cleaned up. Let it sit for a little while though. Alright, just let it sit. Fill it up like that and just let it sit until you're done. You're cleaning everything up. Then you want to shoot some around there like that. I'm going to take the gasket off and scrape it. You need a gasket scraper. Well, all this is a putty knife. That's all it is. You just want to get the gasket off. Right? This has a lot of silicone. I can feel it on this. Really tough. So whoever did this, they put a lot of silicone in there, which is cool, but it makes the job harder for whoever's taking it off. Look at this. Look inside the pan. You can see daylight. Well, you can just see it straight up. You see that crack in there? Yeah, there's a crack in there. It's a split actually from whatever hit the side of the pan right there. That's a split. Now let's look on this other side, see if you can see the light. See there? See the light? That's definitely the problem. And on this car we had a major oil leak. And that's the problem right there. See that? Now am I gonna get a new pan? Nope. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix it. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sand all this, sand this side, put some JB WELD in there, and that's good to go right there. But if you were to have the same situation and you wanted a new pan, just go to the junkyard and pull one off. It's that simple, man. But I'm gonna keep this pan because I can fix this actually, so that's not a big deal for me. So there's the problem for a major oil leak. Okay, in order to repair this crack here on this oil pan, what I did is I sanded the areas down to the metal, get the paint off. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the JB WELD on it. I sanded the inside and the outside. Carburetor spray, and clean it up real good, inside and outside. I'm using the paper. Make sure I get as much dirt, grease, grime as I can. You don't want any kind of grease or anything in there. See? Still dirt left. Okay, time to fix the crack. This is what you call a cold weld. This is JB WELD, which is an epoxy. It's a 2-part solution, which is this steel and hardener. Put them both together like that. Equal parts. Get a nice mix in there. Make it pretty equal. And mix it up. Then you're going to mix them up like this. There's other 2-part epoxies that work and do the same exact thing. Why am I using this one? No specific reason. This one works pretty good though. JB WELD works very good. But there are other ones like Loctite, Quick Steel, and Gorilla. There's other ones too, more than that, but I just usually stick to either this or the Loctite. They're both pretty strong. Loctite might be a little bit better, but no big deal. So then you just apply it like this. Put it on a crack like that. I'm just going to put it on the whole deal. Even though there's no crack up here or down here, I'm going to put it down there. Remember, clean the surface of the area that you're going to be putting this JB WELD on, or your whatever epoxy you use. Okay? I'm going to get this like that. And you're just pretty much going to let it sit for 24 hours. Okay, and that's that right there. That's the inside portion of it. Alright? Okay, this isn't dry yet all the way, but I want to add the epoxy on the back side, the outside of the pan, just so it can bond to the epoxy that's inside the crack there. I don't know if you can see that, but the epoxy is seeping through the crack. That way these two can bond together. Alright? So put some of this on there. Again, mix it half and half. Dump it in there. Just like that. Just cake it up. I don't think there's any cracks up here, but I'm going to put some there anyway. And it's that simple, man. Not hard at all. You can fix a lot of stuff with this JB WELD. And other epoxies. I even made a cylinder leak down tester with this stuff. Well, I made the little orifice, a little resistor inside of it. But yeah, man, this stuff works real good. It's that simple. Spread it like that. Done deal. So I'm gonna let this dry. That's a wrap for that. Yeah, I know I could have went and got an oil pan. I know some of you guys probably tripping out why I didn't get an oil pan, but hey, man, that's what I do, man. You know? Plus, I like the challenge. Not a big deal to me. Okay, we got the JB WELD in there. It's been drying for about 4 hours. So we're good to go. That's solid right there. That is solid. Everything's sealed. No cracks revealed at all. See that right there? That JB WELD, that stuff is great, man. That stuff works very good. What I'm doing is I put the shirt in here like this. When I scrape the gasket, that way any debris that falls down, any gasket debris that falls down here, will not go into the hole. Alright? So as I'm scraping, I put the shirt here so it can catch any debris and keep it from going in the hole. This is a straight edge. All it is a straight ruler. But it's a precision ruler. It's really, it's engineered for straightness. So, what I do is I put it on this. See there? And I check the straightness of this oil pan. The mating surface is going to mate to the bottom of the engine block. See, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking for any gaps all along here. So that's pretty good there. It's not bad at all. Alright, now check this side. This is the damaged side. Alright, I put that on there like that. And I check that too. Alright, we got a slight gappage here. Nothing big though, no big deal. The gasket and the silicone I'm going to put on there, well, it'll take care of that. And next, what you want to do is clean the mating surface of the engine block. This is carburetor fluid I'm using. And I don't really have to scrape anything because there's nothing to scrape off. But I just want to show you anyway what you're going to have to do sometimes, because in some vehicles, this will be gunked up with gasket material. So you just got to keep in mind you have to scrape this. Alright, you can't have any debris, any gasket debris on this mating surface when we put the pan on there. And it can't be oily at all. You want it to be dry. Okay? It's got to be really dry. So keep that in mind. See, this one's already good. Everything's all good here. I don't even have to scrape this, but I just want to show you this is what you do. Most of the times the gasket material is stuck on the oil pan. Okay, now it's time to put the gasket on and then put the pan on. Alright? A lot of people don't like this right here. They don't like putting silicone on a rubber gasket. Normally you're taught to put silicone on a cork gasket. I put them on both. I don't care. This is what I do. And I'm going to show you how I do it. Been doing this for years, so and it works. Haven't had a problem yet. Okay, grab it like this. What you're going to do is you're going to spread it. Like that. Okay, make sure you get some silicone down here. And down here at the same time. Alright? Then fit it on there nice. Line up the holes. I'm letting it get a little bit tacky. A little more there, a little more there. Good to go. Okay, before you even get started on putting the pan up, get 2 nuts ready. Alright? One for here and one for this side. Okay? So let's put the pan up. Ready? Here we go. Be very careful. Be very careful you don't bump the gasket. And shift it around and move it from off the holes. So right now we got the holes lined up. Slowly work it in there. Get it on those bolts. Just like that. Okay. And now I want to put this nut here Right there. Let's get one started on this. Then one on the opposite side. Get that going like that. You're not gonna torque them down yet. Okay? Now this side. Let's put the nut on this here. Right there. Okay, don't tighten nothing down yet. Just leave them hand tight because you got to put the other bolts and the other nuts. Okay? Now that's okay. Now we got that up. Now let's get the rest of the nuts and bolts. Putting the bolts on first because I want to make sure that the gasket is still aligned up with the holes. And so far so good. Sometimes you put your gasket on and then your holes, it won't line up with the holes. Okay, let's do this side. Let's do this side. Sometimes you gotta shift around like that in order to move the gasket. Yep, I've had to take oil pan gaskets down because of that. Okay, we're good there. Don't torque nothing down yet. Leave it loose so you can shift the oil pan. Okay, we got all the bolts in. Okay. Now, put the nuts in. Okay, now, after you get them all on there, torque them up. Hit the corners first, this corner, that corner, this corner, here, hit the center, and work your way around in a sequence. All right? Go diagonal from each other, okay? That way you get the oil pan going straight up, okay? During your torque sequence. Hit the middle. I did the corners first. I'm doing the center. I'm just working it up little by little. Okay, that's it. That's it for the oil pan. Now we're gonna put the cover on here, then the bracket, then the exhaust. Okay, let's put the torque converter transmission cover on now. Okay, next, the bracket. Remember, this is broken. I'm just gonna still use it. Okay, what I got here is an exhaust system joint and crack sealer. You don't need it. I just put it on because I had it laying around, but no big deal, you don't need it. Okay, I'm gonna put this side on first because I can push this side like that. Then I can join this in here like this. Okay, next, get some vice grips and you're gonna squeeze these together, all right? See how that works? Set your vice grip up and squeeze it together like that, okay? This is why you need the vice grips. Without the vice grips, you won't be able to get this closed in enough, I mean. Okay, let's tighten these up. All right, let's get these ones tightened up on the center bracket. All right, and that's it for the oil pan gasket. Let's do a recap on what it took to get this thing off. Okay, first thing I did was took off this bracket here. This bracket mounts to the transmission and to the bottom of the engine block. There's 4 bolts. One here, one there, one straight up there, one straight up there. But remember, mine's broken. So you're gonna have 4 on yours. I only had 3 on mine. Then after that, I took off the dust cover to the torque converter and flywheel access. Then I took off this exhaust pipe. But you don't have to take this off first. You can take this off first if you want, it doesn't matter. I just went backwards on it, no big deal though. Then I took this off. You got these bolts here, 1, 2, these here for the bracket. Then you got these 3 here. They go onto the exhaust manifold. So then after that, what I did is I took off all these 10mm bolts on the oil pan. All right, And you're gonna take all those off. And that's it, man. It's not all that. It takes a little bit of hard work and persistence, but you can get it, man. You can get it. Now, when all that's good, you're gonna put oil in it and you're gonna come down and check it. But don't stick your body underneath the car while the car's running. Now, after all that's done, you're gonna check for leaks. You're gonna start the car, but don't put your body underneath the car while the car's running. You're just gonna look under it, all right? You're just gonna look for drips on the floor. Okay, so let's go put oil in it. And that's it, man. So let's put a little bit of oil. Just gotta top it off a little bit. Go good. Anyway, that's how you do your oil change. That's how you fix a cracked oil pan. And that's how you change your oil pan gasket. It takes a little bit of persistence, but you can get it, man. I know this may seem a little hard, man, but don't ever say the task is too great. Never say something's too hard for you to do, man. Just get out there and try it. Don't be afraid of this stuff. Not at all, man. Don't forget, man. Put Jesus Christ first in your life, man. Don't play games with your soul. He died on the cross for your sins. Don't you ever forget that, man. Jesus loves you, man. Put God first. Never give up. And remember, with God, all things are possible. Now get out there, smash on it. Don't ever give up. Go handle it. Old school signing out.